Hello, my name is Amanda Farlinger with From Where I Stamp, and today we are going to create with this drop it on the floor. Wonderful way to open a video. Santa's delivery stamp set, because Christmas is coming. It is November. How did we get to November? So let's try this again. Um, I'm Amanda Farlinger. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator who lives near Kingston, Ontario, and we're going to use some products in the mini catalog. And this Santa Express suite right here on page 16. The catalog link will be in the description below, along with a list of the products I'm using today. So if you are in Canada and would like to place an order with a demonstrator, you can select me and place your order. And I would do that sooner rather than later so you can get your products in time to do some Christmas crafting or holiday crafting, whichever applies. So this suite here has stamps and dies. We're not using the dies today because you do need a machine for that. There's also embossing folders, which I love, but still, you need a machine for that. So if you're someone who's new, starting out, wanting a simple and quick card, this is what you need today. There's some trim. We're going to use these little stars that have glue dots on the back. There's Memories and More cards, which are perfect for scrapbooking, which I'll do more for my December scrapbooking. I'll share those with you later. And then these cards and envelopes, which we'll use today. So these cards and envelopes, there's 20 of them. $15 in Canada, and you get 10 of each. So there's 10 of these red ones. And the polka dot side is neat, but I've been using the red side more. The polka dot side is a little too busy for me. And then we have these shaded spruce ones. I love this light kind of watermark, almost like snow falling. And then there's coordinating envelopes. So the front is perfect. You just fold over this flap, of course, with both of these envelopes. And you can fill those out. You can even stamp on here if you wanted. And then we have some pretty paper on the inside of both envelopes. So we're going to use one of the red ones today. I'm going to show you how I'm covering up those polka dots. And then I have a couple other cards I've made to share with you. Then there's designer paper. Designer paper is my favorite product ever. We're not going to use it today, but I love it. If you love pattern paper, it's gorgeous. I love both sides of it. All right, so here is the stamp set. There is dies. The dies, if you buy the dies and stamp set together, you do save 10%. And that's during this catalog. If they are carried over, you can still buy them separately, but the bundle price will no longer be there. So that applies to any of our stamp sets and dies or punches and stamp sets that are bundled together. And I love the little penguin, but we're going to use the Santa Claus train, and I was going to say caboose, but I guess it's more of a car, a train car. And I think we're going to put the tree in the back, or maybe the candy canes. I'm not sure yet. Let's see what happens. All right, so a few things we need. So of course we need our card base, which you fold. It's already pre-scored for you. A bone folder is a great tool to have to get that nice crisp edge. Now this is pretty, I'm trying to think of the word, kind of too busy for me. So I've pulled out some colors. Now in the catalog here, and also on the designer paper if you have it, there's these colors down here. Poppy Parade, Petal Pink, Granny Apple Green, Evening Evergreen, Shaded Spruce, and Mint Macaron. So these colors are great. Even if you don't get the designer paper and you have the catalog, whether the paper version or the PDF, then you can use those colors as inspiration to make a project. And you could pull, before I glue this together, if you say Lights Aglow, this color combo here, Cherry Cobbler, Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, Very Vanilla, Basic Black, and Gold. You could use those color combos with these products if you wanted. I'm not. I'm going to stick to the same color scheme that's in this suite. Whoops. But color is very personal. What colors you like. And you want to make a card or scrapbook page or whatever you're making to be colors you enjoy. That's one thing to do. If you don't have a lot of time to craft and you want to put something together, it's always easier if you like the colors or the stamp set or the designer paper that you like. All right, so we'll just put a little bit of glue or even the type of adhesive you like. Now, and I like using this Stamparatus Deluxe foam mat. I don't use my Stamparatus a lot, and some of you might be wondering what a Stamparatus is. It allows you to do some stamping with a hinge type deal, but that's a product for another day. But I love this Deluxe foam mat because it has that mat for when we do some stamping with the photopolymer, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But it also has this washable surface that you can use the Simply Shammy here. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you probably noticed that the Simply Shammy is pretty clean. And what I did was I opened a brand new one, and I looked at my last one, and I've had it since 2018. It was pretty black. It hadn't been used in a little while. So this one's like really, really tough. It's still kind of bendy, but you really can't push on it. I cut it in half, and look at how much bigger. Like, this goes here, or like that. And look the size difference when you add some water to it. And this is completely dried out. It will still work. When they come to you in a package, in this package, they're usually a little damp. And if they change color or whatnot, it's just fine. And you just need to add some water to it. That's all you need. All right. So if you followed any of my other videos, the other ones, it's just black, and that's fine. All right, so black. Speaking of black ink, we have Memento ink because we are going to be using some, I can't think of the word. Let's look at them. We are going to be using these alcohol-based markers. Why can't I think of the name of these? Anyway, Stampin' Blends. Apologies. So I have these colors: Poppy Parade, Mint Macaron, Smoky, Slate. So we'll use those in a minute. But we have our black Memento, our stamping pad with some basic white. We do need some blocks. So I'm going to grab two of these out of my drawer. So I think these should be big enough. These are the blocks I tend to use the most, this size. And so it is block D. And photopolymer stamps, I like to put them down on the surface and then pick them up. It's especially good if you're die cutting, which we aren't today, but if you're die cutting or punching, then this allows you to put the stamp down and it will go to its natural shape. So that way when you die cut or punch it out, it'll fit that die or punch. All right, so ink up this. And this photopolymer stamp is grand because you can see through it. You can also, this one's dry, no ink on it. You can also put it down, this one is not, and have an idea of the spacing. So if you're not sure if both of these will fit, I could have put these down before putting them on the block. But we want this. You can always start with the left as well if you wanted, but it needs a little more ink. You probably couldn't tell, but it was starting to pull away, so it didn't look like it had enough ink on it. So I'm going to put it down here. All right. So because photopolymer doesn't have any padding, this foam on the bottom of this mat helps get a great image of that train. So now I'm going to do the same with the car. And I probably should have centered them a little better, but well, maybe not. Okay. Let's see. Probably would have been better if I had a line or something to get these to look like they're on the same track, maybe. In the die set, there is a track. All right, that looks pretty good, actually. All right, so I'm going to put my Memento ink away. And I'm going to show you how to clean your stamp. So you have your Simply Chamois, and it's not very wet. Like you can squeeze it and it kind of has some water come out, but you know, that's it. Now the black will stain, but that doesn't matter for cleaning other stamps. So the color doesn't transfer, and you just rock it back and forth just a little bit, and now it's nice and clean. And next time when I use this, you can tell I stamped Santa Claus. Okay, pick up some of this water. All righty. So now what we're going to do, my table all wet. So we're going to take our Stampin' blends, now that I've remembered what the name is, and we have Smoky, Slate, Light, and Dark. I like to start with the light, and just going to go around. I'm using the bigger paintbrush end of the blend, and if you're going to mix the light and the dark together, it's always good to do it while it's still wet. So while the alcohol is still wet, so I'm going to show you what I mean here in just a moment. And if it's a design that needs, whoops, the lighter, so the thinner, so there's a thin end and a paintbrush end. So I'm going to use this thinner end just in the front because maybe it's a little dirty. Something like that. Close that up. Grab the other thinner end and then blend them together. Now you don't want to do this too much because then you can possibly blend outside the lines. So you do want to be careful. And if you feel like you've pulled that dark color away too much, then you can go back in. This one I'm going to use the paintbrush end. And there we go. I'll pick it up so you can see it a little better there. So see how it's a little darker? Now I'm going to use the dark up here on this first. Usually I'd use the light color, but I want this really dark. And this can take a little playing around as well. So you may need to maybe stamp this image 1 or 2 times before you get it to look how you like. All right, I'm not going to do too much different colors, but we're going to do this just to give our little, we're going to say caboose, our little caboose, some color. I'll add this here. And there's a whole range of Stampin' blends. So you could choose to use different colors, but if you're not wanting to get into the Stampin' blends, then something you could do is use our Stampin' Right markers. They don't blend as well. Or you could also use watercolor pencils. I'm just going to color a little bit here. And then here. So there's a couple different ways. You could also stamp this right onto colored cardstock if you wanted to kind of get a colored look to your project. Okay, so this one's the light. I like putting the larger labels on there. I'm just coloring every other triangle. So I'm going to go back through with my darker one and color the other, just so it gives it a little bit more definition. And I'm not being really finicky. You just want to have some fun, because we're going to go back over this with the light here in a minute. All right, so we take this and we go like this. So then the dark is kind of shaded in with the light. So I'll pick that up so you can see the difference. So here it is, and here's what I started with. So let's do that with this here. Just to kind of blend the colors together a little bit. And now that is what the train looks like. But I am going to go back through with the fine tip and just make this a little darker right on the edges, just for a little something. There we go. Now the last thing I'm going to do is, I didn't want to color it all in, but Santa needs a red hat. And that was probably supposed to be white trim, but Santa's getting a whole red hat. And I haven't used that marker much before because it's pretty sturdy. Okay. I'll leave the pom-pom white. All right, so now that we have that, now we're going to stamp, let's see. Do we want to do, I think we will do candy canes, because that won't take as long as coloring in the tree would. And I don't feel like coloring in that much right now. And sometimes you just have to listen to what you want to do. All right, so I want to make sure you can see this. Candy cane, not too bad. And candy cane. There we go. I have to let that ink dry for just a little bit. It's a little moist or wet. Okay, candy canes, all nice and clean. All right, so next, while that just gives it a quick little dry, let's figure out what we're going to do for sentiment. And I love this stamp set because not only does it have this cute, adorable penguin that makes me think of my niece and nephew, but it has some other things like the ho 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 and the North Pole sign and presents you can use on other projects rather than with this train. All right, let's see if Santa Claus is coming to town is going to fit. It does. Look at that. All right, so we need, that block's too big. This is block B. This little block was block A, the one for the candy canes. Excuse me. So we are going to use mint macaron for this. And we're just going to pop open the ink. I don't slide it. For the little bit that I'm going, if I'm making lots of cards or I need to use it on like a big stamp, then I'll open it up all the way. But okay. Make sure I have enough ink. It's probably not going to be straight. Not bad. Okay. And of course, we got to clean that one up, slide it out of the way. Santa Claus is coming to town. You know what? I think maybe his shirt does need to be red because he's kind of getting lost. His hat is popping out. Like it's like the first thing I see. All right, so to give him dimension, we're going to get some darker in here. And down the bottom here. I might have my light sources kind of mixed up at the moment, but hey, we're going with it. Okay, and I got a little bit of red. Oops. Got a little bit of red on Santa's mitten. That's the word I want. I haven't used that word in a while. And we're just going to use this color lifter and see if this helps. And all it is, it's just clear alcohol. It's all clear. And it's supposed to lift it. Not bad. All right. Magic. Looky there. I didn't make a mistake. What are you talking about? All right. So next, we're going to move these out of my way. Oops. Okay. And then we come back to our card base. So there's that card base we started, added some shaded spruce, added some mint macaron. One thing I was going to suggest, or maybe even do, but forgot because I was having too much fun gluing, was taking this Ho 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 stamp set, and you could stamp that all over the back here in a black or with mint macaron. It would create kind of an interesting backdrop to this. So a couple ideas for you. You can either glue this right down, which I'm going to do, or you can put some Stampin' dimensionals in the back, whichever you preferred. Ooh, I just made my light brighter. There we go. And it's always good to have something to protect your tabletop when coloring with blends, because see how it is gone through the paper, the cardstock? All right. So the products I've used to create this card will be in the description below. So if you like the look of the stamp set, which is Santa's Delivering, you can click the link and you can go and add it to your cart. Really easy peasy. Now, if it's something that some of these products look good and you'd like to make some Christmas cards, because this pack of what I put them over here, these Santa Express Memories and More cards and envelopes, they're, what were they, $15 for 20 cards. So that's 75 cents for a card and an envelope. So card and envelope, 75 cents. Add a little bit of cardstock, some stamping. You could do this in front of the television. Put your favorite Christmas movie on or something and get some stamping done. Oh yeah, the stars. You could use these and they're like, look at the sparkle in them. So we're going to use, okay, I didn't drop one. We're going to use them for smoke. Like so. There. So now he has some smoke coming out of the stack of the train. All right. Now, I did say that I would show you a few other projects using this, but I did want to mention that with Christmas crafting coming up, joining Stampin' Up! By purchasing the starter kit is an awesome value. So you get a discount, and it is something that you can purchase products that you need to create those I can't think of words, I apologize, to create those cards, scrapbook pages, and tags. But if you're not crafty, if you don't think you're crafty, it's also a great idea because then you can purchase some kits or other products and wrap them up and give them as Christmas gifts. So then you save some money on purchasing those Christmas presents. So the starter kit's $135 is your cost, and you get to choose up to $165 worth of products. And it's completely customizable, so you get to choose. You can add a bunch of kits on there. They're pre-designed. There's a Christmas tag one, there's Christmas cards. So, or you can purchase the suite, which for some reason now my camera has gone a little blurry, so I apologize. But here is some of that tinsel with one of the Memories and More cards. This uses the designer or the Memories and More cards as well. Here is the designer paper. I love this. Is from the card pack as well. There's that embossing folder I was talking about earlier. More Memories and More cards. There's the penguin. Isn't he so cute? Or she? And then this one here. This one I love too. And see, there's that background. I've just been using the red more than anything. All right, so please join me next time for my video where I'll teach you something else that you can do with some Stampin' Up! Products to create either a card or scrapbook page. If you've enjoyed this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you can find a list of the products listed below. Hope you have a great day.